Hey friends, welcome to Nancy's Pantry, where we talk everything health, nutrition, and fitness, and we discuss and share the very best ingredients you want to be putting in your body and the ones that you really want to do your best to stay away from. Let's get started with today's video. Hey friends, so in today's video, we are going to be doing a fall grocery haul. So we've got a beautiful display here, a beautiful jewel tone fruits and veggies, as well as some interesting new grains and things that I wanted to share with you that we purchased this past week. However, before we start, I wanted to show you something really interesting that has finally come to Canada, and that is this beautiful sweetener. So this is the Lakanto monk fruit mixed with erythritol. This is one of the best sweeteners or alternative sweeteners that is out on the market. Number one, because it's erythritol and monk fruit, so it's coming directly from monk fruit, and it's better because it's natural, it's a natural form, and in the US, this has been at Costco for the longest of times. However, here in Canada, you can only find the smaller pouches, but now at Costco, I'm so happy. Thank you, Costco Canada, for bringing this to Canada, because this is definitely a staple for all of us at home to cook, to bake, and even just to sweeten our teas and coffees. So I got that one out of the way. Best stuff ever, really good. So let's start with the fruits and veggies. You guys know that squash tends to be very popular during the fall. We've got all the pumpkins, we've got all the butternut squash, the spaghetti squash, the acorn. There's so many different squashes out there. Butternut squash is one of the sweeter out of all of these together. It's definitely sweeter than most of these. However, this is great to make your butternut squash soup. You can just steam it or boil it, even roast it in the oven and add it to your salads. You can put it in a fall quinoa bowl. If you haven't been following us on Instagram, you definitely need to, because I have been displaying all of these fall items in my everyday breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks on Instagram stories. If you're not following us on Instagram, you're missing out on all of my breakfast, lunch, dinners, and snacks, and they definitely include acorn squash and the spaghetti squash and just lots of other stuff. So definitely follow us on Instagram so you can see what I'm eating on a daily basis. So the squashes, they're definitely in season now, which is why the price has also gone down. During the year, these can be quite pricey, over $1, maybe even like $1.25 a pound. Right now, you can get them for like 67 cents a pound. That is dirt cheap. One of these costs like $2. I'm telling you, this is the best time. Spaghetti squash is another one that I introduced to my husband, I think last year, to my husband and my brother-in-law, and I was so surprised that they love it. It literally will string out like spaghetti, and you're not getting all the starchy carbs as if you were going to eat regular spaghetti or pasta. So this is definitely a great alternative if you're trying to do a paleo or more of like a keto type lifestyle. These are definitely great for you. Acorn squash, I have actually never really eaten acorn squash, and I have been enjoying it all week. I absolutely love it. I roasted it in the oven with a little bit of salt and olive oil, and it's nice and sweet. And then when you get the little chunky salt, it's just on point. It's amazing. So definitely the squash, the pumpkins, you need to get your hands on. They're super easy to mix into so many things and to just utilize in different ways. I think you guys may have remembered the Brussels sprouts from our previous video, the immune boosting foods video. Brussels sprouts are like, as soon as we hit fall, it's like the first thing I'm running to Costco to purchase. When we get into like the little leafy greens frozen area, this is definitely the first thing I look for. I look for the Brussels sprouts because Brussels sprouts are awesome. You can roast them, you can steam them, you can shred them and add them to salads. And this is definitely going to be on our Thanksgiving table next Monday when we're celebrating with a beautiful turkey. Cabbage is another thing that tends to be really popular during the fall. This is their time, this is their season. You've got so many different types of cabbage. This one I actually didn't purchase from the store. This one I got from my mother's backyard jungle. She has provided us with so many greens this summer. We have just been filling up on all the veggies we can. So this is definitely going to be used in some soups. My mother-in-law might even steal it and make it with some meat. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see, but it's really yummy. Grapefruit, again, if you haven't been watching us on IG stories, you would know that I love to eat grapefruit in the morning. Half of a grapefruit, super good. Ruby reds, they're awesome. They're good for you. Vitamin C, if you remember our immune boosting video, we talked about how vitamin C is really important. So grapefruit is definitely the fruit that you want to start adding into your diet. If you don't really like the bitterness, the best way to pick a grapefruit is to make sure that the outer part of the grapefruit has some pinkiness or like this dark sort of orange. You don't want it to just be pale yellow. The darker the orange of the outer skin, then the sweeter it actually is on the inside. You could also roast it. If you haven't tried it roasted, you absolutely have to. Cover the top with a little bit of brown sugar or monk fruit sweetener and roast it in the oven for a little bit. It totally brings out all the sugars, all the natural sugars of the grapefruit. You'll enjoy it more. Plums. If you haven't seen plums out, this is their season. You're gonna see the black plums, the red plums. These are great, so much fiber, so it's really good for your gut. Really good stuff. The lemons, I'm sure you guys remember from our immune boosting foods. I have been buying tons of lemons because I'm always making our immune boosting ginger shots, and lemons are definitely a must. Plus again, it's another great way to get your vitamin C in. We have pears, it's hiding here behind the little plum, but pears are definitely also in season and they're just great. Apparently, just like an old wives' tale, but it does work. I know that for sure because my father has this problem, but if you do have stomach issues, especially with acid issues like gastritis or acid reflux, eat a pear on an empty stomach in the morning, and all of the compounds in the pear really help to neutralize the acid in your stomach, so it's great for you. Apples, everybody knows once fall comes around, we're all running to Downey's farm to pick our own apples. Got some Macintosh and Royal Gala, those are the ones that we generally tend to eat. I also absolutely love Granny Smith apples. They are super sour and that's my kind of apple. Tangerines, again, we're sticking with the oranges and the tangerines and the citrus because that's what we really need during the fall and winter season, because we definitely want to do our best to boost our vitamin C and keep the cold and flus away. So let's get into this side here. We've got some really interesting stuff. Honey is something that we should, normal people might take all year long, but during the winter, it's really important to have some honey around because you can easily add that to your teas to help with any sore throats, or even just as a natural sweetener. So again, you don't have to use things like monk fruit or erythritol, xylitol, all of those things. You can just use natural sweeteners like maple syrup and honey. And here we have Peace River. So this is actually from the province of Ontario. It's from the Peace River area, and it is creamed honey. We've decided to be a little bit indulgent this week, but it's so yum. And it is also unpasteurized raw honey. So the most important things to remember when you're buying honey is that it is local, that it is raw and unpasteurized. Those two things are super important. Why? Because a lot of the regular honey you can buy in the grocery store, like the honeybee or whatever it's called, that's just cut with corn syrup and other sweeteners, and it's most likely just garbage from China. So let's move on. So pomegranates, this is the season for pomegranates. I've heard so many people say that pomegranates is fruit from the heavens, but it is so good for you. And so we've got a couple of pomegranates here to add to salads or just to munch and snack on just like that. Ginger, you guys know that ginger and garlic are the things that we constantly buy, but I wanted to add them in here again, just to remind you that during the fall, these things are definitely going to boost your immune system. And we use them obviously for our immune boosting ginger shots. Okay, so the ginger and the garlic is something that we buy all the time, every week, especially because now with the lemons, we're building our immune boosting ginger shots. So those are regulars for us, but this time, this is definitely the stuff you want to be adding into your foods. We've got Brazil nuts. I think I mentioned it a little bit in our immune boosting foods video, but Brazil nuts are definitely a must during the fall and winter because they contain a high dosage of zinc. So they're really good. You really only need like 2 or 3 max a day, and you'll get a really good serving of zinc, which is also going to help you boost your immune system. So great fall items, and it's definitely on our grocery list this week. So something really interesting that I discovered this week was farro and barley. Now, I know that these things have existed for many, many years. They're ancient grains. However, we've never actually tried them. And so this week when I was meal prepping, I used farro and I made a really yummy Greek farro salad with a little bit of Swiss chard and feta cheese. And it was super duper yummy, and it is definitely going to be a regular. I just need to find a bigger bag than this because this is very small, and this is basically a whole week's worth of farro and barley. So I'm definitely gonna have to look for bigger packages. But again, I bought organic because As I've mentioned before, and I'll keep mentioning it, grains you really want to stick to being organic because they are highly sprayed with glyphosate, which is basically Roundup. So organic, they're not going to be sprayed with that, and you're good to go. Wild rice. Wild rice is something that, again, is pretty popular all year round, but I find that during the fall, you can find it more easily. I don't know if it's like a seasonal thing, like it comes during this time or not, but I bought this big bag of a wild rice blend at Costco. It was quite inexpensive. I think it was on sale. It was like 10 bucks. And again, it is organic, and it's from the Non-GMO Project. And it's got rice, berry rice, wild rice, chusei, Calrose rice. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Long grain brown rice, and you've got Calmoon red rice. Not quite sure if I'm pronouncing all of those correctly, but this looks really interesting, and there's a bunch of really good recipes up on Pinterest that I really want to try. So this is definitely something that is like a splurge. It's gonna be yum. So when you think of fall and winter, you think of soup, and a lot of the time, something that is inexpensive is ramen. This is probably one of the most popular items for students who are far away from home at university is ramen. It's like the college university students' diet is ramen. And my daughter loves ramen. However, those little packages of ramen are so loaded with sodium, salt, and just a bunch of other, artificial flavorings that it's just not great to be consuming on a constant basis. So I found this, which is basically organic buckwheat noodles. So it's your ramen, but in a very good grain, and it is organic. So it's awesome. It's organic millet and brown rice ramen. So it's really good for you, and you can make your own. You can easily have bone broth that you might meal prep. We always tend to have bone broth that is meal prepped. I've got a bunch in the freezer in my super cubes. And so this is really easy. You can just take a little bit of that broth, put it in a pot, defrost it, add some of these noodles, add your veggies, add your protein, and you've got homemade healthy ramen rather than the packaged stuff. Quinoa. We've got quinoa here. Quinoa is a big favorite of everybody in our house. We love quinoa. I made some this week. I'm sure you guys who follow me on Instagram saw my fall or autumn chicken quinoa bowl. It's definitely yummy, and it is definitely something that is going to be on repeat in this house, so we can substitute some of our at dinner time. So I'm definitely thinking about having quinoa tonight with the food, the yummy ground meat that my mother-in-law made. However, I might even do the spaghetti squash. Easy swap outs for your carbs. Oats. During this time of winter, everybody loves a good bowl of oatmeal. It's more comforting, it's warming, and it's just very energizing for your body. And so oats, like I said with all these other grains, it's important that it is organic. This big bag of oats, these are just quick oats, from PC was $3. So don't think that organic means more expensive. It's pretty much the same price as if you were to buy the other ones from Quaker, which are obviously full of glyphosate. They've been sprayed beyond belief with a bunch of stuff that you don't want in your body. Especially if you are someone that loves a good bowl of oatmeal in the morning and it is your regular, if you are an animal of, what's that saying, guys? An animal of like repeat foods, like you are just someone who loves to eat the same thing all the time and it's oatmeal, please buy organic, because you are literally filling your body up with Roundup. So we don't want that. And I missed one, guys. I'm surprised nobody told me. Where is everybody? Carrots. Carrots, potatoes, onions, these are definitely fall items. This is the time when they start to come out and they can be, harvested. Carrots are so good. You can put them in soups. You can eat them like this and snack on them with some dip. You can definitely add them to desserts. I know my husband last week made a humongous pot of a Pakistani dessert that includes carrots, and we basically used up a bag of 10 pounds of carrots to make this dessert. But carrots are so good. They're also full of natural sugars, so it's a nice sweet treat, but it's not gonna ruin the waistline. So that's it for our video today, guys. If you want to continue watching other videos where we talk about all the healthy, nutritious ingredients that are out in the Canadian market, then please subscribe to our channel. Click on the bell icon so that you're notified every time we have a new video. Like, comment, share, and give us a thumbs up. We'll see you next time. Bye.